Hola, hola, hola. Buenas. Do you know that we use buenas instead of buenos días, buenas tardes, and buenas noches? If you would like to know more, this course is the best for you. I'm Greta, I'm Peruvian certified teacher with more than 5 years teaching Spanish and all over the world. I know that you are thinking about traveling to South America or to any other Spanish-speaking country. I'm here in order to help you to be able to speak and also to understand people when you are traveling. We will learn more about readings, numbers, and so on many other topics that will be more than helpful for this trip. I love to travel. I travel for many countries, so at the same time I will give you some advices about what to do and what to avoid during your adventure. Are you ready to start? Let's do it together! See you! Hola, my name is Greta and I'm here to help you. Are you ready to start? Let's start it. It's really important to greet. We have the famous hola. I'm pretty sure that before you start learning Spanish, this word was always part of your vocabulary because of movies, because of podcasts, because of songs, we always know hola and we related to Spanish. Okay, and also we have 3 other ways to greet. Over here in the picture, you can see the 3 together and also the best time. So don't worry, this material you will find it at the end of the lesson. We have buenos días. Buenos días. Let's practice the pronunciation. Buenos días. One more time. Buenos días. Which means good morning. Also, we have buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. One more time. Buenas tardes. Muy bien. And then, buenas noches. Buenas noches. Buenas tardes works from good afternoon and also good evening. Buenas noches works during the night. Yes, at night we use buenas noches, which also means good night. Okay, these are really polite, but we also have the key greet. The key. Why? Because if we use buenas when you don't know the time. For example, now could be maybe if I see the sky and I have no watch here, I say maybe it's 4 p.m., it's 6 p.m. So what time is it? Should I use buenas tardes, buenas noches? Okay, let's use it. Buenas. Buenas is still polite, it's what we use a lot, and also people will understand. So if I tell you buenas, what would be your answer? Also, buenas. Let's repeat it. Buenas. Muy bien. So, if you go to a place, you can use hola, buenas tardes, buenos días, buenas noches, or our key word, buenas. Buenas. This is raw to buy and you see someone that is not that young, so could be someone a bit old. The person is going to tell you buenas, which means that they are polite, they respect you, but it's also something casual. So next time that you go to a place, you take a taxi, you go to a store, you say buenas or buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. So they have the same effect. Okay, after this we have an exercise over here, a Quizlet, so where we can practice this form. Yes, let's see in our next lesson. Muchas gracias. Welcome back to our second episode of Spanish for Travel. Today we will see why is that important to be polite in Spanish-speaking countries. Why? Because we are friendly, we are always with a big smile, so also you use always polite words. That's why I will show you what are those in order to learn them. Yes, the first one is por favor. Por favor, which means please. Let's say it together. Por favor. Yes, one more time, I hear you. Muy bien. Por favor. And also, in Spanish, there is a quality that is, we like to do words shorter. So, in this case, por favor, the short way would be porfa. Porfa. And both have the same meaning. Porfa. Yes, we will use it a lot when we are asking you for a favor, or also you would like to ask someone for a favor. Please, por favor, use them. Por favor or porfa. Yes. And we use it almost every time, yes, 100% of the time, before to ask for something. Then, after you help us, we say gracias. 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 Which means thank you. Thank you. Also, we like to be really grateful. That's why we say as well, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, which means thank you so much. Even if you do just something really easy like open a door or give someone the time, the person can say muchas gracias. Bien, let's practice that. And also I will have another exercise, another Quizlet exercise over here, so we can practice. And we will see in the next chapter. Gracias. Hola. Welcome to another chapter of Spanish for Travel. In this episode, we will learn some important questions. Some important questions in order to communicate and to know basic things. And the first one is the most important, that is, ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? One more time. ¿Cómo estás? All together, ¿Cómo estás? That would be, how are you? How are you? ¿Cómo estás? Answer would be, bien. 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 And also, really important in our culture is to answer y tú. That would be, and you. Y tú. Because if someone spends time asking you how are you, the most fair thing would be to answer and you. Y tú. Muy bien. Also, another one would be, ¿qué es esto? ¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué es esto? That would be, what is it? What is it? ¿Qué es esto? Then we have the third one, that would be, ¿hablas inglés? ¿Hablas inglés? ¿Hablas inglés? That could be, do you speak English? Do you speak English? Muy bien. Then we have the last one. Then we have the other question. That would be, ¿me puede repetir? ¿Me puede repetir, por favor? ¿Me puede repetir, por favor? That would be, can you repeat, please? Muy bien. Now, let's do a Quizlet that we have just behind in order to practice these important questions. Let's see if you have any question. Just ask it in the comments because I will answer. See you in our next episode. Welcome back to our chapter about numbers or números. So today we will see numbers from 1 to 10 first. Let's see. Over here we have The first one, uno. Uno. Let's repeat it. Uno. Then we have dos. Dos. One more time. Dos. Then tres. 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 Cuatro. Cuatro. Cinco. Cinco. Seis. 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 One more time. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. Seis. Then siete, siete, ocho, ocho, nueve, nueve, 10, 10, 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see. For example, if you are looking for an address, you can say, okay, I'm looking for the avenue number. Let's see that you are looking for a 789. So you can say La Avenida 789. Or maybe it's another one, 987. Yes, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Muy bien, now I listen to you. Muy bien. Now, this one. Muy bien. Perfect. Now, let's do the exercise we have behind, and then in the chapter about prices, we will see some other numbers that will be helpful for our trip. Muchas gracias. See you in the next chapter. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Thank you for continuing our Spanish for travel. Today we will introduce ourselves. As I mentioned before, it's really important to get to know people, right? When traveling is the best thing. So the best and the first thing that we have to do is to give our name. For that, we have to use this. Me llamo. One more time. Me llamo. One more time. Me llamo. And here, your name. In my case, me llamo Greta. That would be my name is Greta. Greta. And again, we use the important question, ¿y tú? For example, I can say, me llamo Greta, ¿y tú? So in that moment, you tell me, me llamo, and here, your name. Please, in the comments, put your name. Me llamo, and over here, your name. Yes. And also, over here, we have another thing that would be really useful. Our age. Tengo. Tengo means I have. I can say, tengo una casa. Una casa, a house. Una casa. Could be. In this case, tengo 25 años. 25 años. Años. One more time. Años. One more time. Años. Tengo. Over here about the numbers, we will have another episode with more numbers because we just practice from 1 to 10. So we will practice more numbers, and also here in the documents you will find a file with lot of numbers, so you can see first like a preview, and then we will practice it really longer. Okay, so we will see it later. Muy bien, so one more time. Tengo años. So please leave in the comments your age and also your name. And then after this we say y tú. Y tú. Yes. Okay, this is the first part about introducing yourself. We will add more information, so please take notes about this so you can add more then in the next episodes. If you have any question, don't hesitate to do it just here. I'm more than glad to see them and also to answer them. So we will continue in our next episode. Muchas gracias. Welcome to Spanish for Travel. Today we will see comida. Comida, that is food. If you are visiting a Spanish-speaking country, you should know that food is something special in every single country. But most of them have something in common. That could be this. Menu. Menu. That is a menu. But what is different about this? That you will find in the door of the restaurant, something like this. Yes, a plastic board that most of the time have this. Entrada. The entrada, that could be the entry. Yes, there could be something small like a snack or something to eat that could be really light. Then we have the fondo, that could be the main dish, something bigger. Also a postre, that could be something sweet, and then bebida, drink. These all go together. And why we have here lines? Because they're gonna have more than one option. For example, entrada could be 3 or 4. So you have to create your own menu. What do I mean? I can choose the first one, here the second or the third, the postre, maybe one of them, and then the bebida, that most of the time could be water or another local drink. So before to enter to the restaurant, you can choose yours. So when the waiter goes to your table, you can directly tell it. If you have like 2 options and you see that there is something like this, means that they are not available anymore. And what about the prices? It depends on the country you are visiting. That could be from $3 to $10. So it depends on the place you are. Also, it depends because you can also buy also the fondo. That could be cheaper, or you can buy just la entrada. So it depends on where you are. So I really recommend you to try this because they have a lot of options. So most of the time you order the same food, just not in a menu but in the carta, which means that you have to order it. Could be the double or 3 times more the price. So I really recommend you to try this. It's really common in South America and also in Spain. So what are you gonna choose first? Let's try. So in the next episode we will see how to order this. What are the words that we have to use in order to ask? We will see in our next episode. Gracias. Hola, welcome back to our course Spanish for Travel. In this chapter, we will practice more about food, comida. If you travel to any Spanish-speaking country, you will see that the gastronomy is really incredible, and also there are thousands of options. Even if you are vegan, there are a lot of options because now more of the restaurants are adapting their recipes in order to have a lot of dishes for everyone. But now we will see what words to use in order to ask for food. So I would like to know if you remember the menu. Yes, the menu. So in order to ask for something, we use this important word. Me gustaría, which means I would like to. I would like to. Me gustaría. So if we see the menu, the board, we can say, okay, me gustaría. You can point it. Okay. Oh, by the way, as an advice, try to don't point at people, just to things. Okay, that because it's a bit impolite. Okay. Also, we continue. Me gustaría. One more time. Me gustaría. Perfect. Me gustaría. And also here we have some options about que me gustaría. Me gustaría pollo, chicken, carne, steak o pescado, fish. One more time. Me gustaría pollo, me gustaría carne, me gustaría pescado. See, we have these three options, but don't worry if you are vegan. Also, I will include how to ask for food if you are vegan or you have an allergy in the next episode. Okay, so one more time. Me gustaría pollo, me gustaría carne, me gustaría pescado. And also, if you would like to buy something else, you go to a store, you can also say me gustaría to take the thing. Okay, so you, for example, you see something like this. Okay, me gustaría. Yes, which means that you would like to get it. See? Okay, so as well, we have the exercise just behind and the material in order to practice. So we will continue in the next chapter. Gracias. Hola, welcome to this episode. We will talk about tipping. Is it important here? It's not. Should we do it? Is it a must? Well, first of all, if we compare it to US, this is not that mandatory. I mean, it's not like you have to, but it's really an option because salaries are really low in South America or also in Spain, that the salaries as a waiter would be a bit low. So, if I recommend it to do it, yes. And also, but how much is the best amount of money? It depends on how much is your total. For example, in South America, in Ecuador or in any other countries, that they use dollars, so it could be related to the dollar. $1 could be okay, a bit more. It depends on how much you are getting, how much you are eating there. And also, where else could be $1? It depends on also your budget. For example, in Peru, if you give $1 to someone, could be okay if you get maybe one menu, two menus, or two dishes. But if you, for example, go to a party with all your the family, or you are traveling with a big group, I recommend you to give a bit more. Okay, so who else would be the perfect person to give a tip? For example, a taxi driver. Yes, it depends if he helped you with your luggage. And also, for example, in the hotel, if the person is helping you, so that's something that could help. Maybe the guide tour, etc., etc. Also, this is the word propina, propina, propina. So we are giving a propina, a tip. Okay, propina. For example, there are some restaurants that if you're gonna pay with card, they can ask, okay, do you wanna add a percentage to as a propina? So I recommend you to say no, but give it in cash to the waiter, to the person who helped you, because when you pay with credit card, the money most of the time don't get to the waiter. The restaurant keep it. So that's why I recommend you to have always cash in order to give it to the person. Yes, and when you give propina, I recommend you to say para usted. Para usted, that would be to you. Para usted. ¿Sí? Para usted. And then, gracias. I'm pretty sure that the person will say gracias as well, so you say gracias. In the next episode, we will see how to talk about prices. Is it important? Yes. So, we will continue. We will see in the next chapter. Gracias. Hola, welcome to Spanish for Travel. In this episode, we will practice something more. That could be an important part after eating, right? So, you order me gustaría pollo, for example. Okay, me gustaría. Then, after eating, we have an important moment. That could be this one, right? La cuenta. La cuenta. La cuenta. See? So, how to ask for it? Again, we use me gustaría. So, how would be this all together? Would be me gustaría la cuenta, and then we can add por favor. Me gustaría la cuenta, por favor. Por favor, please. So, both together would be me gustaría la cuenta, por favor. And also, I can give you another advice that most of the places that we will visit don't accept credit cards. There are lots of they do, but if you go to a place that they sell menu, could be a bit complicated. Yes, or also they can have a minimum amount of money to accept credit card. So before to order, please ask if you are gonna pay with credit card, because most of the time they accept just bills, just money. Yes, and also another advice I can give you is to ask about the availability of the products. For example, if you see the menu and you want an option, maybe pollo, you should ask, yes, if this is available. This is part of also another vocabulary we will see at the end of this chapter. Yes, about vocabulary, really useful. So, la cuenta, la cuenta. If you go to it with maybe friends, over here in South America we are used to pay the bill dividing in many parts, but also there are other people that prefer to pay what they consume. So it's better to ask first, because you just order a juice, but then you have to pay more. So it's better to ask. And also another advice I can give you is that if you have a lot of options, maybe cinco options of restaurants, I would recommend you to go to the one that has more people. Why? Because that means that the recipes or the flavor is really good. So that's a secret of a local. So we will continue in our next chapter. Muchas gracias. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Welcome to this episode about prices. Yes. So first of all, I would like to mention that in many places in South America and also in Spain, there are just some restrictions. What do I mean? That they don't accept credit cards, or there are some that just accept Visa or just MasterCard. So this change according to the region, according to the place you are. So please take care about that, and also always get cash. Luckily, there are thousands of places where you can change money, but be careful about the prices. Be careful about the change. What do I mean? That, for example, in places like at airports or malls, probably they're gonna give you less for your dollars or euros. So that happens the same in official stores. So that's why try to look for the prices, try to look for which one is more convenient, so you can get more money for your dollars or euros. Okay, so this is one point. And also, if you travel to cities that are far from the capital or far from where the downtown is, try to ask first. If you have cash, try to ask first if they accept credit card. Okay, and also here we have this important question that could be: ¿Cuánto cuesta? How much is it? ¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto cuesta? How much is it? ¿Cuánto cuesta? Yes, ¿cuánto cuesta? For example, you can touch things and say ¿cuánto cuesta? Or also you can just point ¿cuánto cuesta? You can point just at objects. Don't do it with people because that's really impolite. Okay. Also, there is something important about if they accept credit card or money. So you have to say ¿acepta tarjeta de crédito? One more time. ¿Acepta tarjeta de crédito? Or just ¿acepta tarjeta? ¿Acepta tarjeta? Yes. And one more advice. If imagine that you go to a restaurant and the total is just $3, that you have a bill, a big one. So you can ask, ¿tiene sencillo? ¿Tiene sencillo? ¿Tiene sencillo? Or also the synonym that would be ¿tiene cambio? ¿Tiene cambio? Because sometimes it's a bit complicated to get that much change. So that's why it's important to ask first. And now that you know how to As for prices, also in the next episode we will see some useful vocabulary if you are allergic or if you would like you maybe don't like some ingredients, so we will discover it together. Gracias. Hola, hola, hola! Welcome back to another episode of Spanish for Travel. Today we will see what are the places that you should visit. Okay, first of all, we should know that we have lots or tons of places to visit in all the countries from South America and also in Spain. So, first of all, we should decide what kind of tourism would you like to do. You would like to do a cultural one, you would like to do an artistic one, or etc. Maybe you can do one based, for example, in gastronomy or etc. etc. So you should define that first. Or if you would like to do a mix of all of them, you can do it. You can choose the most important places of every single city. Okay, talking about museos. So they are really important to visit because they represent all the society, all what happened in our country. So totally recommend to first visit the website and look for something like this: precios or prices. So once you click there in the website, you can have a menu where you can find the prices, for example, for people older than 18, 18, or also some discounts. For example, for the students, if you show your ID, the certified that you are a student, you can access for half the price or sometimes for free. But this is not 100% accurate. I mean, it doesn't happen in all the places, but some of them that are working with the state, it does. But when it's a private museum, it depends on them. So it's not always you won't always find something like this that is discount for students. That also you should try. Then, if you would like to go for free, there are some days in the month that you can do it. So it's just based in doing a research and find it. Second, I totally recommend to look for some restaurants that could be from the country you're visiting. If you visit Peru, Peruvian restaurant. So, but we don't have it like typical food. We just call them just restaurants. So you have to take care about that. And also, I would recommend you a lot to go to places where people visit. For example, parks. There are a lot of parks that you can see how the society, you can see families there, you can see what are the activities or what are the things that locals do. And also, if you prefer to do a really immersive experience, I totally recommend you to stay with the family. So you can eat what they do, you can visit, you can go with them maybe to activities together, like going to the church, going to also the park, going to the supermarket. And that's another point. If you visit a country, I recommend you first to go to the supermarket. So you will see how the culture, how the people are. For example, if you go to Europe, you go to Germany, I found something really special that sausages were full in almost 2 or 3 stands, something that is not common in Peru. So that changed a lot. In France, I found the cheese everywhere. In Peru, you will find a lot of different things, but most of them are fresh food. So that's something that gives you the whole experience, the whole idea about how this country works. Then I recommend you to visit also the church, also to visit some touristic places such as the downtown, such as cultural places, and there are thousands of them. Also, I recommend you to be polite. I recommend you to always smile, and also I recommend you to walk a lot. That's the only way that you can find the city, you can discover it. Also, important vocabulary where you're asking for a direction that you should know is that we have derecha, right, izquierda, left, derecha, izquierda. So this is really pretty important in order to get references. Okay, so now I would like to know more about you. I would like to know more about the kind of tourism that you like, you enjoy. So I will helpfully read all the answers that you can post under the video, so I will answer them. I hope to see you in the next episode, where I will give you more advices and also how to avoid getting lost in the big cities. So I will see you there. Muchas gracias. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Welcome back to Spanish for Travel. In this episode, we will see where to stay. First, we have to decide where would you like to sleep. If you prefer to sleep just in a hotel, in a hostel, in an Airbnb, with with a local, or something else. So we have to first decide the place. If you would like to be near to the most famous places, for example, if you would like to sleep really close to a train station, well, in South America could be near to the metro or near to the bus stop. Also, I have a secret that in South America, in most of the countries like Peru, Ecuador, or other places, probably you will be surprised about the bus stop, because if you find a micro, this is a micro, can you see the picture? A micro or a moto taxi, this one, probably you can find weird bus stop. For example, yes, I would like to go to that blue house. So blue house is the bus stop. I know it's not an official one, but could be. So we have some different kind of places to sleep. So the first one could be a hotel. Hotel could be from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. So it's up to you which one you like to get. I totally recommend you to look for it in Google, and also to see the reviews first. Then we have Airbnb. I recommend them in South America, yes, because if you would like to stay more than 1 month or a long time, it's the best option. Because if you rent a hotel every day, they would be too expensive. Then we have a hostel. What is a hostel? So we have hostel like this. Those are for couples, so when they would like to get a moment together, so they go there. So I don't recommend it to you. They are cheap, but if you sleep there, you will hear couples, so I don't recommend it that much. But also we have hostels, yes, for backpackers, and also they are really cheap, but you have to share your room. Well, there are different options. What about my experiences there? My experiences are in Europe, so I couldn't sleep well in Barcelona when I was in one of them, and also in Croatia I was in a hostel in front of a bar, so I couldn't sleep until 3 a.m. So not good experiences, but I'm pretty sure that you will find some really good if you see the reviews first. Then we have a house. There are many houses that they are offering a room. So where can you find them? In Facebook groups. So you just write the name of the town or the city you're visiting, and also you will find many groups. So you can join there and look for one. So first check what about the Facebook profile, if it's really old, if they have friends, real friends, the name. So be careful about this. Okay, so we have these options, and also there are some more that I will mention when we will know the vocabulary, we will learn it. So first, be careful. Try to check the information they are giving to you. Maybe they give you an address, so you can Google it in order to see if that matches with the information you receive. So in order to stay safe. Muchas gracias. See you in our next chapter. Hola, ¿qué tal? Welcome back to this episode about hotels, about where to stay, about where to be when you are traveling to a Spanish-speaking country. So, first of all, I will show you some vocabulary that you have to remember in order to ask for it. Maybe you go to a hotel, yes, so you should need a toalla. Toalla. Yes, toalla. One more time, toalla. Then you should ask for your llave. llave, llave. Yes, it's very important to ask for the llave. Also, maybe you should need sábanas, sábanas, sábanas. Really helpful, yes. Also, you can ask, ¿dónde está? ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? So it would be, ¿dónde está? The first option could be, el ascensor. ¿Dónde está el ascensor? Or also could be, ¿dónde está el baño? El baño. El baño. ¿Dónde está? Yes, ¿dónde está? Then, three important words. Desayuno. Desayuno. Almuerzo. 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 Cena. 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 Desayuno. Almuerzo. Cena. Remember the vocabulary we practice. Me gustaría. El desayuno. La cena. El almuerzo. Perfect. Also, maybe you forget something and you need to go to buy something like this. For example, cepillo de dientes. Cepillo de dientes. Cepillo de dientes. Cepillo de dientes. Also, maybe you need desodorante. 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 Or now that we are in COVID time, so maybe you need alcohol. 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 And also something important. Yes, that could be this. These are tissues, but also papel higiénico. Papel higiénico o servilleta. Papel higiénico o servilleta. Also, if you are looking for your room, ¿dónde está mi habitación? ¿Dónde está mi habitación? Yes, ¿dónde está? That's really important because also in the next chapter, when we practice vocabulary related to the city, we will use a lot. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? Where is it? Okay, so then in the next episode we will continue with more useful vocabulary. So now we have a Quizlet here in order to practice and memorize this new vocabulary. So don't forget that you can practice and also make any question if you have some. I'm waiting for them. Muchas gracias. Hola again. Thank you to continue studying Spanish for travel. In this episode, we will continue with useful information. What do I mean? For example, we have some tricks and also some secrets when visiting a Spanish-American country, a Spanish-speaking country. So, we have to know that there are some tricks. For example, if you are staying in a hotel, in a hostel, or in any place, most of them have the service to go from the place to the hotel for a really cheap price. For example, in Barcelona, when I was staying there in a hostel, I paid €4 in order to go from the hotel to the airport. And also a taxi was approximately 20 or 30 euros. So I saved 26 euros. In the case of Cusco, also when I stayed in a hotel, the lady had a friend who was a taxi driver. So he drove from the hotel to the airport from a really low price. So also we are not in risk, we are not taking a risk taking a random taxi because some places could be a bit dangerous or maybe not the best. Also in these countries we all have Uber, Didi. Yes, Didi is also from Mexico, but also now it's in Lima and it's opening in other South American countries. But I recommend you Uber because you can pay with your credit card and they change the divisa, so you're paying in your divisa, so you don't have to do a thing to change it, so it's easier. And the price most of the time is really fair. It was the same when I was in Egypt, so I pay with Uber, and it was really low. It was a good price. Also, when traveling, it's really important to know that if you would like to take a tour in order to know the city, try to avoid these flyers that you find in the hotel, in the hostel, because most of them have like a 30% more in the price in order to pay it to the hotel or to the place that you are staying. So try to go to the downtown, to the main city, in order to find to talk directly to the sellers, so you save money. Also, I recommend you to use Airbnb, the website, in order to have the services. What do I mean? You can get a local in order to give a tour. The prices are good, and you are helping them to work without needing to a company or something different. And also, Airbnb protects you of being scammed, of having a bad experience. Also, if you would like to do something different, you can open other websites like Booking or like Airbnb Experience, or also some others. Also, you can go to Facebook websites where you can see it. So you just type the name of the country or the city you're gonna stay, and you can find a lot of things. Also, if you speak English, it will be easier because the Airbnb experience are most of the time in English and Spanish, and also Booking as well. Yes, if you are going to a Spanish speaking country such as Peru, Argentina, Chile, Ecuador, and you go to the most touristic place, you won't find that much problems talking Spanish or the basic Spanish or a bit of English. But if you go to another place that could be far, they could be so difficult to do that. Also, pay attention about getting internet there, because if you need a translator, could be a bit complicated because we don't have Wi-Fi everywhere. That's something that is hard because in other countries like Croatia, Wi-Fi is free and everywhere, but that doesn't happen here in South America. So pay attention to that. You can get that cheap. So for €1, €1.20 approximately, so you can get internet. Yes, and also pay attention about what is the brand that you are taking. We have Claro, Movistar, Vitel, and Tel. So some of them don't work well in some places. So try to pay attention, try to ask. If you are staying, for example, 1 week in Cusco, so try to ask or buy it in Cusco, because you will find a lot of locals and you can ask which one is the best. Okay, so you can ask, ¿cuál es el mejor operador? Operador. Yes, so we will continue in the next episode talking a bit more and giving you more advices about traveling to a Spanish speaking country. Muchas gracias. Hola, welcome back to another edition of Spanish for Travel. Welcome, and thank you for continuing with this information that is so useful for your next trip. Now we will talk about la ciudad. La ciudad. But first, tell me, what do you like to do when you travel? Because maybe you prefer to go to another place that could be a bit far from the ciudad, or you prefer maybe to stay there in the downtown. So, according to that, I will tell you a bit more about the cities, how cities are in most of the Spanish speaking countries. We have different cases in South America and also in Spain. For example, ciudades in South America, you can go there and visit them all days of the week. You will find stores open all days. Lunes, you can see over here the chart with all the days. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. You can find all the days, all the stores open, which is really nice, and also what I really miss when I was in Spain and in Europe. So that's an advantage. So you can find a lot of bodegas. Over here you can see the video what a bodega is. It's a small supermarket where you can find everything in good prices. So you can find one in every single corner, maybe near to the store. And also we have some convenience stores, like at least in Peru, this case. See, so they are really nice. If you need water, another thing to be careful, in South America we don't drink water from the sink, so you have to buy water, or if not, to boil it. So pay attention to that. Take care of your health. Okay. Also, about the city, you can travel with a taxi. I already mentioned that, but also you can take the buses or you can ride a bike as you prefer. Also, in the cities, it's not that easy to find souvenirs. Okay, so unless you go to a specific place to buy them, so probably you have to take care about that first. It's different. For example, in Paris, you can find souvenirs everywhere. In Barcelona as well, but in some places it's not that easy. Also, about food, there are lot of restaurants and also street food. So you prefer if in which one you wanna eat according to your budget as well. Because if you eat in the street, it's cheaper, but you have to take care about that. For example, there are some restaurants like this one that are official. You can see that the you can find the logo from the city, and also they are wearing the specific clothes. So that means that they have to take a kind of exam or like a test before to be there, because they have a permission. They are official. They are there. They're working there because of an operation something before. Okay, and also you have to take care about the money. There are a lot of ATMs, but you have to pay attention to which one is the one to use. For example, not all of them accept Visa or Mastercard or vice versa. So according to the one you use, so pay attention to that. Also, now we accept Apple Pay, but it's not that common. Okay, so be careful about that. Another thing is to always have cash. Yes, always have some bills or some coins, because they will be useful in order to pay the buses, and also to buy maybe people selling things at the street. You can have this in order to buy some things. Also, in order to change money, there are a lot of places to change it. Yes, but I will explain more in the next video when we continue talking about En la Ciudad. Gracias. Hola, welcome back to this episode about stores and places in the city. So we will listen to the most important places and then we will continue. Let's start. Let's start with the first one over there. Oficina de correos. Oficina de correos could be the post office, just in case you go to Spain, for example. There are oficina de correo that are the ones who has Western Union, so that's important to know. Then we have tienda de animales or pet store. That doesn't mean that they are selling animals, by the way, so it's just in order to find some complements or pills, etc. So if you are traveling with animals, it's important to know. Then we have zapateria. Zapateria, just a shoe store. I know that most of the time we don't travel in order to buy shoes or clothes, but just in case you have an emergency, we hope you won't, but just in case. Then peluqueria, the salon, the hair place. Then we have museum, so that's really important. If you like to visit new museums when traveling, as much as I do, this is a must. So, for example, using the vocabulary we were practicing 2 lessons ago, we can say, ¿Dónde está el museo? Right? Where is the museum? Then supermercado, that would be the market. Why is important? Because if we buy here, we can save money, right? It's a good way to get products, fresh products, and also food, local food, at a good price. So you're traveling with a low budget. This is a must, right? To go there and to eat. Then la frutería, that this is a specific store if you would like to try exotic fruits, or you would like to find something special, or just to know, right? Because most of the time we don't have these things in other countries, so just to visit. Then hotel. Hotel, we talk about hotel in the previous videos, so it's important to know hotel. Then gimnasio, if you are someone who always work out, who are in a diet, or you like to work out, just simply you can find the gimnasio, and also famous as gym, so that's okay. Then restaurante. Perfect. Okay, so it's not hard to understand, to guess what a restaurante is, right? So, restaurante. Muy bien. Okay, so you like food, you like to try new meals. That's important to know, to visit them, right? Also, we have restaurante, and then at the end we add the nationality. For example, restaurante español, a Spanish restaurant. In this case, chino. That would be a chifa, that is a mix, a fusion between Chinese food and also Peruvian one. And it's a must if you are visiting Peru. And then biblioteca, you would like to read for free. Okay, the other ones are pretty important. For example, estación de tren. Estación de tren, so train station. Then estación, as you can see, estación is a stop or a station. For example, estación de autobuses or just buses, as we mentioned, that are important and also are good ways to save money while traveling. Then we have parada de autobús, so this is when it's in the city. Just also, I will mention more about that during the next episode because it's important to know. Then parada de taxis. Okay, so you prefer to just take a taxi, you prefer to go safe, or just to don't take a risk, you can use taxis. Taxis. Then gasolinera. So you are traveling with your car, you are traveling by yourself. You have to know that we call them gasolineras. And also the final and also the one that we have to use, of course, in order to travel, aeropuerto. Aeropuerto, which probably is the best place for all of the travelers, right? Because it's mine. Muy bien, aeropuerto. So you would like to go to the aeropuerto, you can ask, okay, ¿dónde está el aeropuerto? Over here there is a quiz in order to practice, so let's do it. And we will continue in our next episode. Gracias. Hola, hola, hola! Welcome back to another episode of Spanish for Travel. Today we will see what are the places that you should visit. Okay, first of all, we should know that we have lots or tons of places to visit in all the countries from South America and also in Spain. So, first of all, we should decide what kind of tourism would you like to do. You would like to do a cultural one, you would like to do an artistic one, or etc. You can do one based, for example, in gastronomy or etc. So you should define that first, or if you would like to do a mix of all of them, you can do it. You can choose the most important places of every single city. Okay, talking about museos, so they are really important to visit because they represent all the society, all what happened in our country. So totally recommend to first visit the website and look for something like this: precios or prices. So once you click there in the website, you can have a menu where you can find the prices, for example, for people older than 18, 18, or also some discounts. For example, for the students, if you show your ID, the certified that you are a student, you can access for half of the price or sometimes for free. But this is not 100% accurate. I mean, it doesn't happen in all the places, but some of them that are working with the state, it does. But when it's a private museum, it depends on them. So it's not always you won't always find something like this that is discount for students. That also you should try. Then, if you like to go for free, there are some days in the month that you can do it. So it's just based in doing a research and find it. Second, I totally recommend to look for some restaurants that could be from the country you're visiting. If you visit Peru, Peruvian restaurant. So, but we don't have it like typical food. We just call them just restaurants. So you have to take care about that. And also, I would recommend you a lot to go to places where people visit. For example, parks. There are a lot of parks that you can see how the society, you can see families there, you can see what are the activities or what are the things that locals do. And also, if you prefer to do a really immersive experience, I totally recommend you to stay with the family. So you can eat what they do, you can visit, you can go with them maybe to activities together like going to the church, going to also the park, going to the supermarket. And that's another point. If you visit a country, I recommend you first to go to the supermarket. So you will see how the culture, how the people are. For example, if you go to Europe, you go to Germany, I found something really special that sausages were full in almost 2 or 3 stands, something that is not common in Peru. So that changed a lot. In France, I found the cheese everywhere. In Peru, you will find a lot of different things, but most of them are fresh food. So that's something that gives you the whole experience, the whole idea about how this country works. Then I recommend you to visit also the church, also to visit some touristic places such as the downtown, such as cultural places, and there are thousands of them. Also, I recommend you to be polite. I recommend you to always smile, and also I recommend you to walk a lot. That's the only way that you can find the city, you can discover it. Also, important vocabulary where you're asking for a direction that you should know is that we have derecha, derecha, right, izquierda, left, derecha, izquierda. So this is really pretty important in order to get references. Okay, so now I would like to know more about you. I would like to know more about the kind of tourism that you like, you enjoy. So I will helpfully read all the answers that you can post under the video. So I will answer them, and I hope to see you in the next episode where I will give you more advices and also how to avoid getting lost in the big cities. So I will see you there. Muchas gracias. Hola, welcome back to another episode of Spanish for Travel. Today we will continue talking about the city, ciudad. So in this case we will talk about how to cope with the situation to get lost. I know that that's not a good experience, and also we will have after this video a vocabulary exercise in order to repeat all the places de la ciudad from the series. Okay, so we have a lot of them, so in order to complement this video. So the first one we have to see is this. They could be me perdí, would be I got lost, me perdí. Okay, and also we have this one that could be I can't find, no encuentro. No encuentro would be I can't find. So in order to complement this, we should use the vocabulary we will see after this. For example, no encuentro el restaurante. So you're looking for a restaurant, you're hungry, but you can't find it, so you can say, okay, no encuentro el restaurante. And also after that you can ask, ¿dónde está? ¿Dónde está? So if the situation gets worse, maybe it's late, it's tarde, and you get that it's getting dark, so the best situation to do could be to look for a police officer in order to ask for help, because as I mentioned before, in some places there is no a good signal or internet or Wi-Fi, so the most recommended thing is to look for someone from authority. So if you don't trust on them, because some places could be dangerous, so I recommend you to try to take a taxi, an Uber in order to go to the direction that you would like to go. So, but first of all, don't look panic, don't look like you are really desperate, because it can be a bit dangerous. So try to calm, try to look for solutions at the moment. What could be the possibility that you can find, or the ones that you feel more comfortable with. Okay, so just one more time. Me perdí or no encuentro. Perfect. Okay, so then after this we have an exercise in order to practice them. And if you have any experience getting lost, so it could be wherever you visit, so don't hesitate to tell me more. Yes, so you can tell me, me perdí, Yes, me perdí, and we add over here M. M. M could be I got lost in. For example, me perdí en Disney could be. Okay, and also another advice if this happens is to try to find a bodega or a store so you can look for direction because they are really trustable and they will try to help you. Okay, and so we will continue in our next episode of Spanish for Travel. So, muchas gracias. Nos vemos. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Welcome back to another episode of Spanish for Travel. I'm Greta, and today we will see more about street food o comida de calle, also famous as comida callejera. So, some tips about that. So, as we practiced before in the chapter about food, you should know what are the famous words in order to say that you have allergies, that you can eat something, that you are intolerant to the lactose, etc. So those are there, and also I will put them again over here in the material. And also we have something new and important that if you go to a restaurant, you should say this. Okay, me gustaría comer aquí. Comer aquí. Comer aquí. So put it there in the place. Yes. So one more time. Comer aquí. Perfect. So this is just if you would like to eat there. So we're there at the restaurant or maybe at the stand where you are buying. And also, if you prefer to eat alone, maybe at the hotel or wherever you are staying, you can also say para llevar. Para llevar. So probably if you ask para llevar, you have to pay 1 or 2 or 3 in Peru soles or $1 more in order to pay the plastic bag. Or also you can go there with your own tote bag or whatever you have a space in order to put the food. Okay, so this is important to know because from 2019 approximately, if you would like to get a plastic bag, they are not free anymore. But as I said, it depends on where you are buying. Okay, so para llevar. And also we have over there, okay, comer aquí. Comer aquí. So to eat there. Comer aquí. If that's the case, I recommend you to find a seat and wait for the person to give you the food. Most of the time, if you go to eat there, they will share you first, so don't worry, that's normal. Okay, so that's normal. Then we have to know that you have to pay most of the time in cash. Okay, so you are buying food from a street stand, you have to pay in cash. But now they are trying to get more advantage using a machine in order to put the credit card. So this is new. This is not in all the places. Okay, so comer aquí and para llevar. Sí, para llevar. And okay, so then we will practice more about emergencies. Also, another advice that I can give you is that you see most of the time some places that are with a long queue, you can go there and talk to people. Ask them what is the specialty. So it would be ¿cuál es el mejor plato? And they will tell you, they will answer which one is it or just point it. Okay, so this is another advice. Okay, I'm pretty sure that you are more than ready to go and try street food. Are you ready? So don't forget to say if you have an allergy or something in order to prevent to have a problem. Okay, so now I'm pretty sure that you are hungry. Yes, me too. So that's why now we will change the topic and we will continue with emergencies. Okay, I hope you don't have them, but just in case. Gracias. Welcome back to another episode of Spanish for Travel. Now we will talk about a sensitive topic, one that is not easy, and also I really hope that doesn't happen in the trip, That is emergencias. Emergencias. So I know I'm a traveler, so I know what it is to feel bad or to need something when you are traveling. So I will recommend some things. The first one is that if you have medicine, you have, for example, allergy, try to get the pills so you can travel with it. Don't worry, you can travel with it in your suitcase. There's no problem. If you need something that needs a prescription, so travel with it. Don't worry, you will have problems. So that's okay. Also, you know that you need something, for example, a cream for a scratch or something like that. Try to prevent. Okay, the culture of prevention will help you a lot in this trip. Okay, and also, what about the medicine? Is it easy to find it? Yes, it is. For example, in South America, you can get medicine, you can get aspirin, you can get stuff like that. You have a cold, you have a pain, so you can go to the pharmacy. And something important is that the pharmacy worker is kind of a doctor. Why? Because you have to tell your symptoms, so the person will adapt what you have in order to give you the best medicine. So that's something important. So that's why we will practice the symptoms in order to be sure that the conversation is working well, that you're explaining the real symptoms you have, okay? In order to prevent you're saying something that you don't have. Okay, so also about emergencias, we have two different kind of places to go. The first one could be a hospital and then the clinic. So I will explain more in the next video that is about that. And also about emergencies, it's necessary for you to have an insurance because that could help a lot. And also you will need it because it's better to prevent. Once I traveled without insurance, uh, luckily I didn't have any problem, but I regretted a lot. I was scared to have any problem. And also just like to do extreme sports and stuff like that. So it's a must. It's a must. Okay. So also about emergencies, yes, emergencias. You have to know that you can rent an ambulance or go to a taxi to these places. Okay. So the first emergency could be an accidente. Accidente and accident. Accidente. And also this could be accidente vehicular. Vehicular. So which means that you have an accident with your car or with another car. And also we have other accidentes. For example, if you talk about accident, it could be like you fall down or something similar. Okay, then we have quemadura. Quemadura, which is a bit different. So, but this case you can explain. Could be quemadura also because you were in the sun for a long time. So there are different accidents, but we will try to practice the most important, the thing that could be the most common. So in the chapter number 3, we will practice the symptoms because in number 2, in the next one, we will practice where to go, what are the best places in order to get attended, in order to be better. Okay, so we will continue in the next one. Thank you, muchas gracias por tu tiempo. Let's continue in the. Hola, welcome back to this second episode called Where Should I Go? Where should I go? Okay, so let's imagine, think about this, that you have an emergency. So, what should you do? Okay, we have two options. The first one would be the hospital. Okay, but we have some set options. Okay, all the other would be clínica. Clínica, hospital. Clínica, hospital. Clínica, hospital. So you would be unsure, okay, which one would be the best? Clínica is private, so it could be a bit expensive. If you have no insurance, if you are just a tourist here, can be a bit high, but if we compare it in dollars, it's a good price. And also if we compare it to security and also to assistance, healthy assistance from US, it's really cheap. Okay, but also you have to know to which one you are going. because there are some that are not that good, even if they are private. They have a lot of people, so maybe the service won't be that nice. So I recommend you to research before. But if it is a really emergency, something that you have to do right now, just you will go to the one that is closer. Okay. Also, the hospital could be as well a particular or someone from the state, one that could be free. But I don't recommend you to go there because even if you have an emergency, you will have to wait like 4 hours. Well, I'm talking about the Peruvian experience, but I know for my friends that is the same in Ecuador, in Mexico, also in Chile. So that's a bit complicated. So I recommend you to go to the clinica. A hospital could be if you have something not that dangerous, not that risky. Okay. Also, because of COVID-19, you have to go to the hospital in a taxi. Yes. I'm sure that the ambulance can be a good option, but most of the time there are a long queue in order to get that service. That is totally different from the clinica because just there you call and you will get one, but the price could be really high. Well, as I'm talking again, in the visa from the country could be a bit low, but if we compare it to the service to Spain, could be a bit high. Okay, so we have to think about the coin we are paying. If you go to Ecuador, would be the dollars. For example, Peru, soles, and pesos in Mexico or pesos in Argentina. So that change, the experience change. Okay, so I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about like all the places. Also, if you get the ambulance, that could be an advantage. Try to don't go alone to the hospital because would be nice if someone can help. Maybe the person who rented you the Airbnb or your guide or etc. Okay, so that's just an advice. Oh yeah. Also, where else should I go? If you feel bad, you should go to a farmacia. Farmacia, which is a really nice place where a lovely lady will help you in order to find just a pill, just something that would be not that strong. Could be also a shot, but I don't know. I don't think that you will need that unless you have an emergency. So these are the two places to go, and also in the next episode we will see the symptoms. So in order to express, okay, we know I mentioned that you have to talk to the lovely lady at the pharmacy. So what should I say? Okay, I know that the conversation will start with hola, ¿cómo estás? Or buenas tardes, buenos días, and then you have to explain what are the symptoms. And also, just to remember, we have to use the word I have, tengo. Okay, plus then we have to use the symptoms. Okay, so we'll continue in the next video and looking forward to see you there. Gracias. Hello, welcome back to Spanish for Travel. Today we will see what are the symptoms because we were talking about hospitals, clinic, and stuff related to emergencies. Let's hope that that will happen. But just in case, you should know what are the symptoms. The first one could be tengo dolor. Tengo dolor. That could be I have a pain. Then we have to use tengo dolor plus de. So all together would be tengo dolor de. And then what should I add next? Okay, we have to look for this picture over here that you will find it in the link in order to know the body part. Okay, so in this picture you will find all body parts and the pronunciation next to it. So for example, me duele la cabeza. Could be headache. Me duele la mano. I have a pain over here, mano, head, etc, etc, etc. So me duele la or me duele el. So it depends if the word is feminine or masculine, but don't worry because in the picture you will find all of it with la or el. So you don't have to guess, you don't have to practice the words, so you just have to memorize it. Also would be tengo. Remember I have tengo, so we can use tengo fiebre. Tengo fiebre would be I have a fever. That could be something common. Also related to tengo, we have this one, two. Frío, calor. Frío, frío, cold. Calor, hot. So maybe you're talking about the symptoms or how do you feel, how you are feeling inside. Also, another one could be tengo tos. Tos. Perfect, okay? Well, perfect no, it's a bad symptom, but the same. Tengo tos. Also, another one could be tengo mareos. 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 So when you are dizzy, you don't feel well. Tengo mareos. Mareos. Related to the vocabulary we practice when we were talking about comida, we can say tengo diabetes, alergia. Yes, alergia is really important in order to tell them before to get maybe medicine or other stuff. Okay, tengo, always tengo, I have. Well, yeah. Also, another vocabulary would be tomo, I take. So maybe you have a specific recipe or a specific prescription, so you can say tengo or tomo, I take. Yes, or you can show directly your prescription in order to get maybe new pills or stuff like that, so you know that you are not auto medicating or your medication doesn't get affected. Muy bien, okay. And also we have to remember something else that could be related to COVID. Some symptoms related to COVID. If you maybe are with the nose, running nose, you can say tengo mucosidad. Mucosidad. Okay, some other cases a bit more extreme would be roto or rota, when you get something broken. For example, tengo, over here, tengo la pierna rota. Why rota no roto? Because pierna, it has la. So la means that it's feminine. Okay, so this word with all the body parts. If you are talking about a masculine, for example, tengo el pie, feet, el pie roto. Okay, so this is related to when you have something broken. Okay, and also maybe if you would like to say I fall down, you can say me caí, me caí. Yes, or also you can say I had an accident, tuve un accidente. Let's hope that this thing won't happen. I'm sure that won't happen, but just in case, it's important to remember and to know. Okay, then in the next episode we will see, oh yeah, hospital vocabulary. So vocabulary if you are already in a hospital. So we don't have to use la cuenta, the bill. So it has another name, for example. So we have to know it. Yes, and also it's always important again to have a seguro, insurance. If not, you have to see that probably you won't find good attention, or maybe it will be a bit hard to get a hospital or the service. Okay, so we will continue in our next episode. By the way, today is Christmas, so Merry Christmas. I know that you will see this video after, or maybe next year, but still, Merry Christmas to you all. Muchas gracias. Welcome to the first part of hospital vocabulary. The next one is gonna be about when you forget something. In this one, we will practice. Okay, we have here a blank space because here we see the pictures. Okay, so the first one could be when you have an emergency. What could be the first thing that comes across your mind? Maybe to break something. And what do I need? Yeso, 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 yeso. Maybe it is not that soft. Well, if the emergency is not that easy, it's not that as we expect, we have to use a silla de ruedas. Silla de ruedas. So also I have to say that in South America, some places could be a bit complicated to go with a silla de ruedas because some paths are not stable, they are not straight. So maybe it could be a bit complicated to use them. But if you can transport in taxis, that won't be that expensive, so that would be a good way to be safe. Okay, now we have silla de ruedas, and also about vocabulary we have to say prescription would be receta médica, receta médica, receta médica. Okay, and receta médica is important in order to buy pills, in order to buy medication, and that's farmacias, farmacias. So tell me, have you ever had an emergency or outside your country? If the answer is yes, do you have an insurance, a seguro? If not, maybe it's better to have it in order to be sure where to go, because in some places some hospitals are full, or because of COVID the number of people allowed to be there reduced a lot. So I recommend you to first check on your phone or first to call. I have to also warn that most of the time the call centers are not working, or there are thousands of people calling at the same time. So maybe in the moment of the emergency, that's why it's better to have an insurance, because you can call the insurance first and they will tell you where to go. So in this case, if you are by yourself, you are traveling solo without an insurance, that could be a bit hard, because you can have to find someone to trust in order to take the taxi. So the risk is not impossible to do it, but I mean that when we are not good, could be a bit dangerous. We are easy to get in trouble, or to forget, or to have problems. Okay, so that's an advice, un consejo. Perfect. Okay, and also I would like to say this before to talk about transport, because in South America we have some problems about transport. It's not as chaotic in other places. For example, I know that India could be a bit worse, but in this case, it doesn't mean that we have the perfect drivers that they respect everything. So we have to consider that, and that's what I will mention with more detail in the next section, section número 7, about public transport. So if you have any question, also we have the vocabulary here in the Quizlet, so don't forget to see it and also to continue in our next episode. I forgot something, and then in the next section about public transport. Muchas gracias. Hola, hola, welcome back to another episode of Spanish for Travel. Today we will see when you forgot something. That's an emergency. Imagine if you forgot your passport, if you forgot the key, la llave, or you forgot your ID, or you forgot something, your phone, could be anything. Okay, so we have to use an important phrase that would be perdí, perdí, I lost, or also could be me olvidé, which means I forgot. So they have different meanings, so don't worry, the purpose is the same, that you have something. Okay, and also, first of all, we have to know what to do when you lose something. If you are in the place, you have to ask for the cameras, that could be the most accurate, in order to say perdí mi, perdí mi, o olvidé, olvidé, I forgot. What things we can forget, could be passport, pasaporte, pasaporte, pasaporte. So all together would be perdí mi pasaporte, perdí mi pasaporte. The second one, número 2, would be perdí mi maleta, maleta, suitcase, maleta, perdí mi maleta. Número 3, perdí mi billetera, billetera, wallet, billetera. So what if you lose your passport? You have to go to the closer police station in order to declare to get the paper that you did that. So can you travel with it? Yes, you can. You have to show that to the airport. So most of the time it depends on how long you are staying in a place. So you are staying more than 2 or 3 months, so probably would be the most accurate to go to the embassy in order to do the papers. But if not, you are doing just in a short trip, I recommend you to go to the station in order to get the paper and continue doing your plans. Also, what to do if you have your passport stolen or you don't get it. So to block it and also prevent. I really believe in the culture of prevention. So don't have it in your pocket or in your bag, because that makes easy for pickpockets, because you know that a passport in the black market can be really expensive and also can be related to bad things. Okay, so that's something that I don't recommend to just trust that much while traveling. Also, another thing that you can get lost is your phone. Could be perdí mi teléfono, teléfono, teléfono. Okay, so I hope that that won't happen. Another thing that maybe while traveling you like pictures, you like te gustan las fotos. So something else could be perdí mi cámara, perdí mi cámara, cámara, cámara. Something else that we can lose could be perdí mi, perdí mi computadora. Let's hope that won't happen. Computadora. Or also, if you have a laptop, could be perdí mi laptop. Muy bien. Okay, then in the next episode, we will talk more about transport. How is the transport? What do I recommend? In the previous videos, I also mentioned what to do, what apps to use, but also I will give you some more advices in order to prevent, in order also to know, and also to share some experiences. I'm pretty sure that you are enjoying this course as much as I do, so let's continue because we have even more nice things and really important information for you. So this is made in your needs and also what you want to know before to travel. Gracias. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Welcome back to another episode of Spanish for Travel. Today we will see something important: how to transport. Which one is the best way to transport, to move in a country? Okay, so here we have to divide into different things. First would be South America and then Spain. So I will give you advices for both. Okay, so first one, we have to talk about that metros, trains in South America are not as common as in Europe. What do I mean? That you can't take, for example, a train to go to Cusco from Lima. That's impossible. So also that's the same thing we have in all other cities, in all other parts of South America. So other thing to do would be to take buses or planes. So it would be, if you would like to take in bus, bus. I know it sounds like French, right? Like bus. So it's almost the same. Bus, in bus, bus. Then we have avion, 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 avion. Perfect, avion. So if you travel in avion, you have to your budget would be a bit higher than bus. So that we have to take that consider it, because if you have more budget, it would be better because you can do more things in short time, because buses could be really long. Even if you are traveling inside, for example, Ecuador, inside Peru, inside Chile, the buses are long. For example, if you visit Lima and you would like to go to Cusco, it's approximately 16 hours. So this is 6 hours. So we have to consider that. Okay, so that's when we talk about visiting other cities. So there are some trains, they exist, but they are not that common. So you have to see that before. It's totally different to Spain. In España, we have the advantage that almost all the city is connected, and also is connected to go to another countries. You can take a train in order to go to France, to Italy, to any other country. So that's also another advantage, right? Because we can move around in a cheaper way. That's sadly not yet. It doesn't exist yet in South America. Well, then when we talk about transport, how to move inside the city, there are some trains. They exist, but they are like metros, so you can take them. So most of the time it's the same structure like in other countries, that you pay a ticket that you have to first stamp or introduce in a machine before to enter to to the train or to the metro. So if you don't do that and there is like someone asking for a ticket, you can get a fine. So the fine sometimes is really expensive, so you have to take care about that. And this is for both places, for Spain and also for South America. Then we have other ways, for example, taxis. I already mentioned many brands that you have to download in your phone, because that could be a good way to travel, like Uber, like Didi, etc. Also, there we have something else that I mentioned, that are the combis. Yes, so those are a bit scary, but they are useful. They are very useful because, sadly, for example, in Peru, the Metropolitana, that is the metro, doesn't have that much lines, so we have to take care about that. Okay, also we have moto taxis that I showed you the picture, but we put it here again. Yes, that those are in order to go to very short distances, so it's not like you would like to go to Ecuador, so you have to take one. Okay, don't worry. Also, about the tickets, yes, sadly we don't have apps in Peru about buying tickets in advance, but we do about buses, so you can look for that. And this is the same that happened in almost all South America. And this happened if you would like to travel inside South America, for example, from Ecuador to Chile, Argentina, etc. So you can take buses, but they are a bit long. They take like 18 hours, etc. And also they are almost as expensive as a plane. So I recommend you to travel in airline like Viva Air. Also we have some other that I include at the end, because those are really useful. Then in the next episode we will see about the tickets. What do I mean? I will give you some advice and recommendations in order to buy the tickets. Then we will talk about bus stop and traveling safe. And also in the last episode of this section we will see what are the advices and also how the traffic in these countries. Okay, so in this case we will continue in the next episode. Muchas gracias. To this episode of Spanish for Travel. Today we will see bus stop and traveling safe. Most of South American places are everywhere. I'm talking especially about Peru, Ecuador. Those are the main places, because in Argentina there are a lot of cars that they respect the rules, but especially Peru, there are thousands of cars, the micros that I just mentioned. They don't have a specific bus stop place. So if you say, for example, I would like to get down in the Blue House, maybe you would be there. This is in the cases of micros. Okay, in the case of official transport, that's totally different. They have just some places, specific places, and they are respected a lot. But in the case of micros, we can be everywhere. That's why now the government is trying to delete them and to replace it with legal transport. But for now, it's that almost impossible, because there are thousands of people, so they need to go to work. While they are changing this, it's almost impossible to do that for now. Okay, so also we have some apps in order to see what are the bus stops about metro, about the train in these places, so I totally recommend you to use those. Also, most of the time in the combis or micros, and also micros are famous in Mexico as well, so this is the same. So you have to consider that the price that you will pay is not the same. Okay, for example, if you go just 2 blocks, the price is gonna be cheaper, but if you go here to the last stop, it's gonna be a bit bigger. Okay, so we have to consider those things. And also, traveling safe. About traveling safe, what do I mean by that? That you have to prevent. Prevent is better than regret. Okay, so in order to prevent, I recommend you some things. The first one could be to use this. So this goes in the belly. So over here we can put the passport, and also money, yes, over here, and you put it in your belly. This one is from this brand. I don't know. I'm not uh, giving a recommended the brand. I'm just saying the product. Okay, so this is elastic, so this is really comfortable and really nice to use. Okay, and also I recommend you to don't use your phone everywhere. If you are in public transport, try to avoid that because it could be a bit dangerous. It could be a bit complicated also to them to try to avoid that someone can get it. Okay, also about traveling safe, I recommend when traveling doing in legal buses. For example, in Colombia, Peru, Argentina, and Bolivia, there are a lot of buses that are not legal. What do I mean? That they are not registered, but they do the route. But what happens? You have an accident that they won't pay because legally they have no responsibility. It was your duty to see if the business was official. How do I know that? If they give you a ticket, if they give you something to prove that they are working, if they have a RUC, RUC in Peru and other places is the number that shows that they are paying and respected, they are paying the taxes, stuff like that. So that means that they are working legally. Also, another advice would be to try to show to people that you are traveling alone. If you are doing so, try to say no. No. You remember when we talk about estoy bien? ¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien. Okay, so we can say estoy con. I'm with. Estoy con. You can say, for example, estoy con mi novio. I'm with my boyfriend. This is the case of girls. South America and also, yes, Mexico and other places around are a bit dangerous for solo girls. So I'm not saying that to don't do that, but to take precautions. Okay. So also about traveling safe, another advice would be to use most of the time official taxis because you will see thousands of the taxis when you are arriving. So from the airport, they will try to give you good prices, but most of the time they can say at the last moment, "Oh no, sorry, I didn't tell you it was dollars." So they are trying to get a better price, or they are trying to get a price that is unreal. So please take care about what you are paying. If they always will charge in the local divisa. If they are giving you the price in dollars, means that they are scamming you. So this is something to prevent. Well, in Spain it's also the same. You have to also compare prices and try to don't show them that you are traveling alone. Always that someone is waiting for you. Okay, so in the next episode we will talk about traffic and some advices in order to prevent it. What to do? Yes, I'm going to know what to do. Then in the section number 8, we have a specific section for people who are traveling to South America, to Latin America. So you are going to Spain, you can listen to this video, listen to this information, but you can take some things I mentioned, what work in Spain and what don't. Okay, so let's see in our next episode. Muchas gracias. Hola, welcome back to this episode of Spanish for Travel. Today we will see something good, something really nice. That would be traffic and some advices. What to do, but how to prevent the traffic. Okay, maybe you should hear about traffic in India. Many cars, the cars don't respect the lights. Well, South America is not like that. Spain is not at all. But in South America, most of the time the drivers think that they have the priority. So we have to pay attention a lot first to the traffic lights and then to drivers if they are gonna cross or they are gonna respect us. I know that probably you are from Europe or from United States and most of the places that you live. If you are near to the highway, they will stop in order for you to cross. That won't happen in South America, neither in Mexico or surrounded. Yes, probably will happen in Spain, probably. when I was in Barcelona and also in Madrid, that didn't happen. But if you're lucky, that's why I prefer to wait that they cross if they don't want to respect the lights, and then I go in order to prevent accidents, because I know I'm far from home, so that could be a bit expensive. Also, another thing another advice would be that in order to prevent traffic, don't go out at 8 a.m. or 6 p.m. because those are the time that all people are going to the office, to their work. So I recommend to don't do that. And also there are time of the year that all the places are full. For example, Christmas in December. And also there are different months in South America according to the Independence Day. For example, in Peru could be in August, the end days of July, so almost August. That is the moment when there are a lot of people because they receive a gratification. What is a grati? Could be an amount of money in order to buy more things. Okay, so that's really important. At the same time, I recommend you a lot to prevent the season. What do I mean? In summer, we will know that we have more people outside. The sun could be really, really strong. So that's why I recommend you to prevent that time. Also, talking about traffic, the traffic will happen almost all places. Even if you're in a taxi, you're in a bus, you're driving a bike, it's the same. Okay? So that's why it's good to have good patience. At the same time, like everywhere, there are some crimes. So you're using your phone while in the taxi. Try to close your windows, or if you have the windows that are dark, that's better. Okay, so that's so much better. So this is just in case to prevent. I'm not saying that you will be stolen, you will lose your things, just to prevent. Okay. Also, that is the same if you are in the metro, you are in everywhere. So just to prevent. Bien. Also, another advice I can give you is if you are taking a taxi, you can send your GPS to someone else if you prefer to be really 100% sure, 100% safe. Also about traffic, I have to recommend to go out really early. If you are doing a tour, you are going with a company, they will prevent that. They know the time that would be better for you to go out. Also about public people and a lot of things, I will mention that the queues. We use queues for everything, everywhere. So if you are the last one arriving to the place, I recommend you to ask, ¿Es el último? ¿Es el último? To the person in order to say, are you the last one? Because there are people that they are just around, but they are doing the queue. So maybe they say, no, you're trying to be my queue. So that's why, just to prevent. Always then smile in order to be friendly. Okay, so now this is the last topic about traffic. Yes, traffic. So also I will start talking about Latin American culture. For example, I mentioned this, in Latin America we have a lot of illegal transport, so we have to prevent that. Even taxis are illegal. You have to see that they have a photo check, like a paper with the picture, with the QR and stuff like that, that shows that they have all the papers on time. They have everything ready to do taxing. Also, it depends on the country that there is a specific color for the taxis. It's like in Peru we have the black with some squares like chess, but also amarillos, so also yellow. So this can change according to the place you are visiting, also according to the city. For example, 5 years or 10 years ago in Arequipa, a place in Peru, they were all green. So that's why I said that they changed. So we have to do a research about this. But yeah, we will continue in the next one, and we will start talking about ñapa or yapa. What's that? It's related to get things for free after buying something. Are you curious about that? So let's start. Nos vemos en el siguiente capítulo. We will see in the next chapter. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Welcome back to another edition of Spanish for Travel. Muy bien, so in this episode we will talk about South America, Latin American culture, which is my culture and I love a lot and I know it very well because I'm a journalist. So during my thesis I was focused on this topic, so I will tell you the things that you have to know. Okay, first of all we have to talk about something very nice that we love to eat outside. We love to eat places outside. So when we eat there, we are talking to the person who is cooking. We are talking to the chef. So because of that, we can order what we want. For example, if you are asking for a ceviche, you can ask for it without chili, maybe. So which is really nice. So you customize your food. At the same time, there is some, because we are talking to the person, we can ask for less, more, to give some indication, something that it's almost impossible if you go to a five-star restaurant. You have no contact with the chef, right? So this is like the friendship, the relationship you have with the person. Also, something really nice about that is what we call yapa or ñapa. What's that? Well, that's a word that comes from Quechua, which means something else. For example, if I buy, let's say, a chicha, this is chicha, or also we buy something that they prepare, or an orange juice, for example. After that, we drink it, and then we can ask for a ñapa. What would be more? Could be a bit more for free. So you buy maybe two. You can say, okay, yapa or ñapa. After that, in Ecuador it's ñapa, in Peru it's yapa, but also exchange the name, but it's the same. So just you can add for something extra. So this is when you talk to the person. You can say, okay, yes, or you can just add yapa por favor, and that's it. So but that's just for people who knows. I mean, if you don't ask for it, the seller won't tell you, I will give you for free, right? So that's why you have to ask for it. That's important to say, la llama por favor. So because this is a secret. I'm a native, so I'm a local, so that's what I do, and that's what I share it with you. And they will be very impressed, like, oh, how do you know that? And you have to tell that you have a good teacher, right? Okay, so this is about comida, food. And also when we talk about services, or we talk about other different things, is useful. It's nice to give some tips, okay, but that's not a must. Then in the next episode we will talk about haggle prices. What do I mean? To negotiate the prices. Okay, so for example, when you buy food, we don't just to negotiate. It's not that you go to a restaurant, I wanna pay you that, and the person will say no. Okay, so we don't have that. But with products, also with some food, I will explain more in the next episode. Gracias. Hola! Episode we will learn how to negotiate or haggle prices. Just like you hear it, so I know that it can be complicated. So if you are like me, because I really don't like to do that, because it could be a bit complicated as an artist. I appreciate a lot the work, a lot the time, a lot of dedication that people spend doing that. So that's why it's a bit complicated. Over there you can see my drawing. I made it with watercolors, so it took me some days. So this is a Peruvian god. Yes, if you would like to know more, you can look for him, and also in the comments I will put the name and more about him. So they took me a lot of time, so that's why I really appreciate the others time. And if you are like me, maybe this video could be a bit complicated. In some places it's a tradition, so if you don't do that, that would be really hard to buy things, because that could be so expensive. For me it's a dilemma, and I'm pretty sure that for you will be as well. But don't worry, because I'm here in order to give you some advices how to do this successfully. So the first thing that I would recommend you is to try to look for the product many stores, so you can compare the prices even if you don't have an official price, so you can see what would be the approximately. And also you can look at Facebook groups in order to look the price, and also Facebook Market, because you have to change your location so you can see the original prices. After having this, you should know what is your limit. I mean, what are the prices you are able to pay. So after that, let's try to don't be that savage. Well, if you, they give you, they say 100, don't ask for, okay, one. So no, that could be a bit, not that nice. But also try to be really competitive. Yes, as I mentioned, that could be to get the same price approximately. Yes, and to think twice before to negotiate. If you are not ready or you don't have the money there, it could be better to wait until that moment. So also you can look for the places online, which ones are the best places to negotiate. So this is what I always do. I do the research first. After that, try to don't be that desperate to get the product. So don't look like you are so excited or you really want to have it, because they can detect that. So that's something that you have to know in order to don't pay a lot. In another places like Egypt, for example, it's a must to do that, because they won't give you a good price. The first price that they will tell you won't be the official. Also, another thing is to most of the time pay with cash. And also an excuse that I hear many times, like people saying, "Oh yeah, that's all what I have." So you would like to use that excuse, to use that argument, you can hide the money, because it would be weird if you say, okay, I have 10, but then you show that you have more and more and more. Okay, so this is just to prevent. Also, try to do that with original products, with original handcraft products, not with made in China, because what's the purpose of that, right? Because most of the time, people who are selling those are because they made it, so that's why they appreciate a lot the art, as I mentioned before at the beginning. Okay, so now you are almost ready to do that, but wait, because I totally recommend you to also try to compare this in 2 or 3 places. So if they are asking that much, you can say, okay, I will go back and then look for the next place next to this store. So they will be after you in order to say, no, I have a better offer. So that could be a good technique that I did many times. So it worked for me. So I just moved to the next one, to the next stand. So I'm pretty sure that now you are more than ready to do that. And also be careful, because this won't happen in restaurants or stores related to food. So most of the time it's related to our products or some other. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the first time you do that, you will want to go to do it back and again. So muchas gracias. Hola, welcome back to another edition of Spanish for Travel. Now we are in the section talking about Latin America. We are saying how we already mentioned about Napa or Yapa was that, also some things, some features about the culture. Then we talk about prices, should we negotiate, what should we do, and now we are talking about society. What would like to mention how we are? For example, in Latin America, you should know that employees are a bit complicated to get. So that's why there are thousands of creative jobs. For example, people who give you your shopping to the car, or maybe people cleaning the car when you are in the traffic lights. Also, people selling flowers. People, according to the context. For example, during COVID time, they were selling masks. They were just applying you alcohol and sharing for that, and thousands of creative jobs. Also, people in the traffic lights selling something, dancing, giving their best to make a living as an artist, or just to get money to their house, because to get a job. And also there is a huge percentage of business companies that are illegal, so they don't pay the whole salary, or they try to get the double of hours for the minimum wage. Also, another thing is that to get, okay, you can get the employee, you can get a job, but maybe you don't get the insurance, or the situation is terrible. If you wanna quit, they won't pay you the whole month, or stuff like that. So it's a bit unfair. So that's why it's really polite if you give tips to these people. For example, to waiter, to the taxi driver, to the guide tour, etc., etc., etc. Also, about the culture, there are thousands of young people studying English. So if you ask someone, they will understand. But the problem is that the institutes are happy with you to finish the 3 year, because for them it's a business. But then in the time to talk, they can't. They are not that common. It's not that common that someone speak two languages, just English and Spanish. So it's really, really rare. So that's why people started me really weird when I told them that I speak fluently English, Spanish, French, and also learning Chinese and Arabic, because it's something that they started me like I was weird. So that's why it's important to know some Spanish word in order to communicate with them. Yes. Also about the people, we are really friendly. We love to see tourists. We love to help them. We love to talk to them. We love to know where they are from. We love to know that they are enjoying our food, our country, our society, our, in special gastronomy, because gastronomy in South America, in Latin American countries, because there is an eternal debate between Mexico and Peru about who has the best food. But this is not a dilemma part of the lesson, don't worry. It's okay. So this is really important to know and to recognize that it's really good. Also, that's why if you are in a small town, don't worry, even if you can't communicate with them, they will help you with a smile, with using signs, using pointing things, so that could be a good way to communicate with them. About people, about the racism is a bit uncommon. So people are peaceful, try to be peaceful. The only thing that grab the part of a feature of society is to like listening to music a bit loud. So maybe that could be a bit annoying if you're staying in an Airbnb. So this is something that we have to cope with. So exactly it's like that. Also about food, it's really cheap. You can find food everywhere. It could be already made or also to cook it. Yes. Also about the university, there are thousands of universities here. Most of the young people are professional, so they are always working as a professional. Sadly, because of that, the professional market is a bit low, the salary. Even if someone is a professional, that doesn't mean they have a good salary, which is a bit shocking for someone who in Europe or US. If you say that to them, they are like, no, that's not possible if they study. So that's a bit unfair, right? Also about families, most of the time it's just about independent families. What do I mean? They are just monoparental parents and kids. So you will see a lot of that. Also thousands of single parents. So it's really common to have kids and then to make another one, but by their side. So that's something that won't surprise you. Also about the families, it's still a bit the essence of the guy, the man is the one who is supposed to provide food, provide money to their houses. Okay, and about tourism, yes, we are really used to see tourists, we are really used to help them, and also we like to see them, to talk to them, even it could be a bit complicated, so don't be surprised if someone asks you something, so try to be friendly and to answer in the best way as possible. Don't be scared about that. About society, we have to mention that in all Latin America the politics are not that stable as we would want. So we have to take care about the time, about the crisis. Sometimes in any countries there is crisis, so you have to pay attention to that before to get tickets. So it's the same that happened in Argentina, in Venezuela, in Colombia, in Peru. So we have to pay attention to that when after buying a ticket. So try to follow a newspaper or media so you can see if that's a good time or not. Nos vemos en la próxima. Hola, welcome back to another episode of Spanish for Travel. Today we will see something really important. Well, as all the course I always start saying that, but this time is something if you are into immersive tourism, if you don't just like to go to the most famous places for you. For example, we have some communities, indigenous communities, that they depend on tourism. So what do I mean? So they open their doors in order to live with you for a short time. So you can spend with them all day. So in order to know how do they live, how they do, sometimes with no electricity, sometimes with no internet, sometimes with the lack of some products or some stuff, but they still make a living about that. So I totally recommend to do that. The most famous in South America is the Uros, Isla de los Uros. So that one is it's located in between Puno and Bolivia. So that one is really incredible if you prefer, if you like to be in the middle of water, so to see how can I be going to live in an island. So is it good? How do they do? Do they have a bank? Do they have, yes, and why? Maybe you are thinking, okay, but living in an island is not that hard, it's not that complicated, it's not difficult. Why are you saying that? Because this island was constructed by them, so it's not a real one. So because of that, they have to create, they have to be really creative in order to have electricity and all the basic services. So if you also, they are not just into that, they also live from the art. They create a lot of things, a lot of objects in order to sell. So I totally recommend, if you have in mind to buy souvenirs, if you have the decision between going to the market or buying this to the artisans, buy to the artisans. Probably the price is the same, but the artisans, they are getting the money directly, because when they're selling to someone else, they have less, a price that would be lower, and then the other will sell to a high price. So that's why I recommend it. And also you have a design, you have a product that is handmade, is original, you're 100% sure that it was original, because most of the time in the market stores, they are just made in China. The same that happened in Paris. If you go to most of the stores that are just located near to Sacré-Cœur, they are really fake, because they have the sticker made in China. They don't remove it. So there are some products that are made in France that are really expensive. So that's the same here, but in this case the prices are really friendly. So if you like to get something unique, something special, buy this. Okay, also talking about immersive tourism, there are thousands of routes that people who prefer to be in the citizens choose took. So I recommend you to look for in the internet what are the things that people in the city do. For example, there are some places in Latin America that are the copy of a place. For example, in Peru we have Machu Picchu, but also we have Rupac, that also is located near to Lima, that is so similar to Machu Picchu. And that's what happened in almost all the world, that they have like another place that is a bit underground, we can say. Okay, so it's not as exactly as the main place, but it's still a good place. If you would like to visit both, that's okay, that's up to you. If you can do it, do it. Yes, so immersive tourism. And also, yes, if you prefer also you prefer also to just visit them, that's okay. You can buy some things, because they depend 100% on tourism. And after COVID-19, they were struggling a bit with tourism, and also because always the crisis is a bit complicated here. You know, the inflation is now increasing, so people are struggling a bit. So that's why I recommend you to buy to help them. Well, perfect. So if you are over here, it's because you are almost ready to travel to a Latin American country. Sí, muchas gracias. Hola, ¿cómo estás? I'm really happy that you are here in this episode, because that means that you are almost ready to visit any Spanish country. So you know numbers, you know days of the week, also you know how to ask for prices, you know the name of the places, so which is really nice. Also you know what to do when you have an emergency or any situation, so which is really nice. Also you know some hacks, some secrets about South America. Also in this episode we will see what to do. What to do? First of all, be friendly and smile to everyone. Yes, if you are talking to new people, if you see people sellers, so a smile is really nice. Also, people will be really friendly with you. They will always say gracias, buenos días, buenas tardes, in order to receive you, because we really appreciate that you are visiting our country. Also, another thing to do would be to give tips. Yes, if you can do so, I recommend you to give like something, could be a small amount, it's up to you, so that this is something that shows that you appreciate their work. Also, what to do to travel as much as you can, what to do, also to walk a lot. I know that transport in Latin America could be really cheap if we compare it to Europe, to US. To take a taxi is not something that is really rare. You can do it often. But I recommend you to walk if you can, if you like to. Okay, also, one other thing I recommend you to do is to don't just go to the touristic places. Also, try to investigate more, try to ask to locals what places are not famous but they should be. And also, that's something that could make you have the whole experience. Also, what else to do? Try to get new experiences, try to decide to go to places that you've never imagined. There are also extreme sports, so if you are up to that, you can go there, you can get it, and also you can have a really nice experience when you go back to your country. Also, what to do? Well, try to eat as much as you can. If we know the vocabulary about if you are allergic or you have something that stops you to eat everything, but I totally could do it. What else? What to do? To buy lots of souvenirs, buy lot of memories, take as much pictures as you can, and also that's what I'm here. So in order to ask this, we have to say, ¿puede tomarme una foto? One more time, ¿puede tomarme una foto? So it would be, can you take me a picture? Okay, so also take pictures, record videos, eat, try new flavors, don't be scared, decide to do it because life is just one and you are here, yes, for first time, because I'm saying that it's gonna be the last one, because Latin America is an addictive place. If you visit one, you would like to do more and more. Also, what to do? Try to ignore media. What do I mean? Sometimes media in Latin America is really sensationalist, so it would be they don't show what is really happening. So, for example, they just show crimes, uh, stuff like that. So, don't believe that this is all the country because that's not. There are thousands of tourists coming here, visiting, and they have a really successful experience. So, try to hear the good things and also think positive. What else to do? When you arrive to an airport, try to use Uber or try to use the buses, the taxis from the airport. I know they could be a bit more expensive, but it's the price of safety. Also, in a lot of airports, there is a service where you can go from the airport to the some districts that are safe. So you can take it. They are approximately €8, $8 as well, because taxi could be approximately 10 or 12. So that's a way to go there and also to be safe. But the thing that could be a disadvantage is that you have to wait until it's full, or also to wait for the hours. So if you are traveling really late or something like that, maybe it's not that convenient. What else to do? To have always cash, always money, always dinero. Yes, so don't trust that much on your credit card because sometimes there are many places that don't accept it, or also they do, but the service maybe is off or stuff like that. So try to use efectivo, cash. What else to do? Always have a jacket in your hand because in Latin America the weather is unpredictable. So maybe it's really hot, muy caliente, but then it's just frío. So always have a jacket. Wear your best shoes, the ones that are the most comfortable, and start this adventure. Next, I will give you some advices about what to avoid, what to not do. So we will see in our next episode. Gracias. Hola, welcome back to the second part about what to avoid. Okay, what to avoid. In this case, I have to prevent you from some situations that could be maybe scams that they are everywhere. In Rome, Paris, wherever you go, there are scams. So, what would be the first thing? Try to don't buy things when you are in a tour. What do I mean? For example, if they see that there is a huge number of tourists, try to you will see that there will be a lot of people going there to sell you things, to show you. They will say, yes, this is a real huaco. For example, a huaco is a ceramic made from the cultures from Tahuantinsuyo. So what do I mean? They will show you, oh, this is original. It's like you go to Egypt and they will say, oh, I have a mummy for you, 1,000 euros. So that's of course a scam. So try to don't even ask more because they will see that you are interested. So try to just say no gracias, no gracias. Also, what second thing not to do, try to avoid walking in places that are too dark. Yes, this is not because someone will steal you, it's just because of safety. You will never know when there is a car who's not respecting the lights or who can see. So just to prevent. Then, other thing to don't do, to avoid, is to eat that much things if you are going to a place with high altitude, because that could be dangerous. What else to avoid? Try to avoid going out when it's too late in places that are too far to your hotel or the place you're sleeping, in order to prevent taking a taxi, because when it's too late it could be a bit dangerous, a bit hard to find a taxi. So this is just in case to don't be waiting that much in the street when it's a bit alone, when there are no more people. Okay, so when it's not crowded. Then another thing to do is to try to don't buy that much in gifts that are big. So if you like to buy souvenirs, I know that I recommend you to buy them, but try to don't buy that much things that are huge. For example, I don't recommend you to buy a plushie that is an alpaca really huge. So try to buy it in a small version, so that would be easier for the trip if you continue traveling. Another thing is to never forget your pillow for the neck. That's a must. Then another thing is to have always a portable charger, because in some places in Latin America it's really hard to find a charger, or if you forget your cable, that will be hard to find one. Okay, then also what other things to avoid is to try to don't buy all the souvenirs or the things that you are getting from just one place, because that could be a bit disappointing, because maybe you find better designs in the next one. So always ask if they are made for the locals and not made in China. Then try to always, okay, in Latin America is a must to buy water, because it's not safe if you just open the sink, so that doesn't happen. So water is really cheap, and also you can always go with one in the backpack. So because when going to touristic places that are really far, for example in Cusco, you won't find water. But also it's not illegal to eat there. It's not allowed to eat in Machu Picchu, for example, because people, it's too dirty that they put the trash everywhere. So you can just get water. Okay, and also in Machu Picchu it's not allowed to dance or to record TikToks dancing, or to being a bit disrespectful, so be careful about that. Then another thing that I recommend you to avoid is if you are is to drink outside, I mean in the street. Also another thing to avoid would be to show your money. If you have lots of money, don't try to show them to people or trust that much on them. Also, if I would recommend you to don't get like all the tours with one in one place. Also, I recommend you to don't change all your money in the ATM from the airport. So in the change houses from the airport, because that's not a good thing. Then I totally recommend you to avoid just going to expensive restaurants, because you won't try the real flavors. Okay, and then in the next episode we will continue with tell me when you travel, where you travel. I will tell you who you are. So nos vemos in our last episode. Gracias. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias for seeing all this video, for continue this course that I made especially for you, because you love to travel as I do. So I want to show you my culture, my country, and also my continent. So I'm more than happy that you visited. And also I'm really glad that you finished this course. You invest your time in order to be better. Also, this is not the last time we will see, because you can also see me on my YouTube channel. Yes, it's like Spanish with Greta, and also on my social media that I will put here. So after this, I would like to tell you that if you are a backpacker, you have to say soy mochilero, mochilero. for example. Okay, so also if you like to travel just with luxury, just with really fancy travel, you can say just soy viajero. Soy viajero. I'm a traveler. Then, after this chapter, I would like you to please write in the comments on what we practice, how to introduce yourself. Where are you going? In order to say where I am going, we have to say voy a, voy a. I'm going to, voy a, voy a. So please tell me what's your name, where do you live, and also where are you going, and also for how much time you are going. Yes, so I would love to read the comments and I answer in all of them. And also, if you really enjoyed this lesson, this course was half knowledge and also half some advices and experiences. So this is the whole the complete experience. But also I have another courses that are 100% focused on learning new vocabulary, new things, grammar, listening, and also speaking. So if you really like how I teach, if you like how our course is, don't hesitate to get the other course or to give it a look, because I have really nice information there, and also the methodology is a bit different because it's focused on learning 100% one time. Okay, and then I would like to read your comments and also to know more about you. And then if you have some picture for your trips that were successful because of this information, you can share your picture with me over here. Then, and if you have any other question, just please let me know over here in the box. You can come and get a certification in the proof that you studied this and you learn a bit more, and now you are ready for travel. You are ready to see a new country, a new continent. If so, I'm really proud of you because you are getting out of your comfort zone. Then I will have a short video later in order to give more important vocabulary. Yes, just to sum up all the new words what we practice. And I really hope to see you in our other course where we will practice a bit more, because if you know this basic, that will be even easier to learn more, because Spanish is easy, but it's easier when I can also if you enjoy it. Then I'm pretty sure that you are curious about this drawing, so I'm really sure that you will be more than impressed to see the original sculpture that is located here in Peru. Well, this is Greta, and I'm more than happy to continue teaching you, and I really wish you buena suerte, good luck in your adventure. Muchas, muchas gracias. Hasta la próxima. Thank you so much.